hi. We're all friendly. I want to welcome everyone to the first Hall of Fame dinner for the 25th anniversary of the Shootout. Long overdue in my eyes. This event is stellar. I mean, the economic impact that it has on this community can only be felt by the people who are in business, like my wife Kim and I. This weekend brings in the biggest crowd, the biggest amount of money spenders that this lake sees. And it's all given to charity, a lot of good causes going on here. So I want to thank everybody, every participant, every spectator, and every worker for being here. Thank you. You know, it's hard to believe that this event is 25 years old. You know, 25 years is a long time. I remember the very first one like it was yesterday, you know, and it just doesn't seem right, you know, that the Top Gun, Randy Sism, was 101 mile per hour that year. Hell, pontoon boats go faster than that. You wouldn't believe it's 25 years, except when I look out in the audience and I see the friends' faces and so forth, and you guys have definitely aged 25 years at least. Me, on the other hand, I have not changed a bit. Just the same. Anyway, like I say, we got to thank a lot of people for this event. I wanted to recognize the Shootout Board of Directors, first of all, and the people that worked to put this together. President, of course, is Ron Dugan, and without him, we couldn't do this. Vice Presidents are Mark Mason and Don Silva. Give them a hand, please. Connie Wire is treasurer. Mike Kennedy is secretary. We have honorary board members and board members of Kent Morris and Frank Scapino. This is a revolving door, but we want to recognize, first of all, and we want to congratulate and acknowledge our top guns from the past that are here tonight. I know Dave Scott's here. Dave, you want to stand up? Randy Sism. Greg Olson from last year just knocked down a hell of a number. These are our champions. These are the guys that everybody comes out here to see. This is where the money comes from. To break that barrier, to push it further up the road. That's what we do. You know, it's really cool. These guys are in a league of their own. It's really neat. Also, I'd like to recognize, you know, we always do the Top Gun, but there's a lot of guys running in a lot of classes. So anybody who's a class winner past, stand up. That's you, Ronnie. You and me, buddy. Class winners, I know there's a bunch of them out here. We all do the same thing. We all race. That's what we live to do. You know, racers like two things. They like fast and they like loud. And if you don't like fast or loud, you're in the wrong damn room. This thing started 25 years ago by some local guys living in Lake of the Ozarks, sitting around having a beer, talking about what ifs. That's what we do. And they talked it out. They said, what do you think about doing this? What do we think about a charity? What about raising some money? Man, these guys have raised a lot of money. I'm telling you that right now. One of the guys, I'm going to call him up right now. I'm going to call him Sheriff John Page because I always will. John? He can explain the process. We could call Fran Steinruby, but he won't come up here. He's chicken.
Well, number one, I'd like to thank for being inducted. It's an honor. But, you know, this all started 25 years ago, sitting around at Shooters 21 with Fran and a few of us, listening to individuals who were talking about how fast their boats were going, and everybody else kind of called them BS, that it couldn't go that fast, and how many boats we had that thought they could go 100 miles an hour. And of course, Fran had an experience with racing, so the idea came up. And we started that at the end of June. In August, we had our first race. Had about 70 boats. A lot of them local. Ones that weren't local were from St. Louis and Kansas City. And it grew from there. And first magazine that we put out was an 8.5 sheet of paper folded in half with sponsors on it. And that went for several years, and then John Solentrop got involved with making the magazine bigger, and look what it is today. So this thing has grown. It's been a blast the first few years that I was involved with it, the first, I think, 11. And we had a lot of fun, and it was to bring business to the lake, and it did. It's made a weekend that normally was dead before that a very prosperous and fun-filled weekend. And I'd like to thank all of you that are involved in that makes it happen. There's been a few times that I've used some words for some of those people that were hauling boats and got stuck and things like that when I was sheriff. But it's all paid off, and we're still having fun, and we're still making it a safe race. And out of that, the water rescue, which is what this was all started for, we went from one boat at Rocky Mount, and I think every fire department's got at least one, a couple's got two. We got dive teams on the lake now, and a lot of that's because of this. And so, again, thank you.
I'm going to start out, since John's already up here. This is the beginning of the Hall of Fame inductees, and of course, John Page is our first inductee. So, John? Sorry about this thing rattling around. This honor is giving for you having the foresight and willingness to give your time to create and lay the foundation for the Lake of the Ozarks Shootout, an event that has made the difference in the lives of so many others. This community is a better place in which we live because of your efforts and dedication.
Thank you.
We got to get Mr. Bashful up here now. Fran Steingruby was the inspiration for Shooters 21. Of course, it was a Shooters Shootout for so many years. A place of magnitude beyond anything we'd seen at the lake before. It was the opening of a door for many places to come. And we've all been there. And Fran was one of the guys sitting down at that table saying, hey, let's get this thing rolling. Let's rock this place. So let's get Fran up here. This honor is given to you for having the foresight and willingness to give of your time to create and lay the foundation of the Lake of the Ozarks Shootout, an event that's made a difference in the lives of so many others. This community is a better place, just like with John, as a matter of fact, because of your efforts and dedication.
Thank you.
If any of you guys want to say anything to anybody, just get me off the mic. Thanks, guys. The whole entire event was created to raise money for firefighters, and my great-grandfather was a volunteer fire department, Osage Beach. And so many of these guys were underfunded in the early days, and as this city grew and this community grew, the need for better firefighter protection, for first responders, et cetera, grew with it. One of the guys that's been instrumental for all the years in the shootout, of course, is retired chief from Sunrise Beach right here, John Solentrop. John has dedicated lots of his time. John, come on up. Since I successfully read it twice, I'm going to stop right there.
I'm deeply honored that, over the years, it's been the volunteers, it's been the sponsors, it's been a lot of support from a lot of people that have made this thing happen. And we're certainly thank all of them. Spectators, participants, everyone. Thank you.
One of the first of our racers to be inducted, boy, I'll never forget this. Dave Callan, man, he brought that Mystic, and it went right by Shooters at 200 miles an hour. I'll never forget this. We were opening up the restaurant when he was doing a test run. Me and my wife, Kim, and all our employees were sitting out there looking out at the lake and having a talk about how big that day was going to be and how everybody had to knuckle down and get with it and to stay hydrated, you know, because it was a hot day like it's going to be tomorrow. That's why I turned the air off, so you're all going to be ready for tomorrow. So I was talking to them, and I looked out, and I saw this rooster tail was about 300 feet in the air. It seemed like it was anyway. I said, oh, my Lord, you know, and I looked at that deal, and I said, okay, let's stop this meeting. Everybody turn around. That boat's running 200 miles an hour. I mean, I could see from up there that was a whole different deal, that there was a whole new game in town, a new sheriff. And that boat came by there, and, man, he broke the record, busted the 200 miles an hour, and he set the stage, which I hope will be bettered again by the end of this weekend. 200 miles an hour. My God, man, I've done it in the car, but on the water, it is amazing. That's amazing. You know, all these guys are heroes. They're absolutely pushing limits, and I love that. That's why we're all here. You know, that's what we do for a living. And so the first of all these guys was Dave Callan. He's not here right now, but Jason Johnson's going to come up here and get his award for him.
Thank you. As he said, Dave's not here. I know he would love to be here, and John Kosker, his partner in a lot of those rides, would be too. Thank you.
Jeff, I think I gave you the wrong plaque, but I got yours up here. Whoever you got, you can give it back or whatever. The next inductee is a guy that we all know and we all love, and he's been around everything, and you might not know him by face, but if you ever looked at a book or a magazine anywhere, you're going to see the name George Denny. George Denny is a photographer. He's a great guy. He rides the helicopter. He's fearless. He's a cool dude. I love this guy. George Denny, come on up.
Hello. The shootout has brought nothing but opportunities for me. It's all my friends, people. Remember Rick Smith said, "Can you help us with this program?" That was a long time ago. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. Now we have RC boats going faster than 100. They're doing 119 pontoons. It's just different. It's amazing. It's fast. And I have a lot of friends. Thank you.
I want to introduce a couple who were smart enough to get out of the airline industry when when it was still good and fun to fly planes. It's not anymore, by the way. Going from a guy that flies every 3 or 4 days. Ron and Margie Frazier worked for TWA and American Airlines, and they quit and they moved here to the lake, and they became first responders. First responders, we can't live without those people. I'll tell you, they're trained. They're the people that we rely on. They're the people that when you really need help, that's what they're for. They've been with the Shootout for many, many years, and of course, and we're taking this as a charity. We're giving money to promote that sort of thing. I'd like to have Ron and Margie come up here, please. Wait till you get to the stairs. You guys can share this.
everybody that participates. I'm not a good speech maker, but I love all of you. And thank you so much for helping us.
As everybody knows, one person cannot make this. Sorry, I'm going to pull Ron Dugan on you here in a minute. And without the people, the volunteers, the people on the side, the folks parking cars, this wouldn't happen. So it's not only the main people, but it's everybody in the community and in this area. We're awed, and thank you very much for the honor.
Another one of our heroes barely needs any recognition other than what he should well get. You talk about, and I've talked about the fact that we broke that 200-mile-an-hour barrier. We've broken so many barriers, and it's not only due to bravery of the gentlemen that get behind the wheel and the mechanics and so forth. It's technology. It's total technology. That's what's happened to this world. Engines capable of 1,400 horsepower that are still now reliable. That was never there before. The technology of composite materials that will hold up under that strain and be lighter than fiberglass or steel. The technology is so rampant, there's only a few people in the world that can even be there on that level. Randy Sism is one of them. MTI. This is the fastest boats. I mean, amongst the fastest boats in the world, and we got them right here at Lake of the Ozarks. You know, when you talk about Mystics and you talk about MTIs and you talk about Douglas Marine Skaters, I mean, these are top technology. These are spaceships, guys, and the guys that build them, they have a inspiration and they have a way that is truly genius. And Randy, come on up. Actually, dumb old me, Randy's down there having a party of his own, but he's getting his boat ready, so he will be here, so I'll accept for him. I need another trophy. You can't talk about Lake of the Ozarks. You can't talk about the Lake of the Ozarks shootout. You can't talk about Speed Merchant. You can't talk about anything that has to do with boat racing if you don't talk about 8-time winner Dave Scott. Dave pushed the piston envelope up to 208. I think it's actually above that, to be honest with you, but that is amazing. And he put a lifetime in, and he, like me, has been able to make a career out of his hobby, make a career out of what he loves to do, and I love him for it.
I'd like to tell everybody, obviously this is quite an honor. I want to thank Ron and the Shootout Committee for their consideration for the induction. There's so many people to thank when you think about the Shootout and you go back. I think my first year was 1995. And the volunteers that are out there every day, I mean, so many people to thank. When we would be with Budweiser and we traveled all over the country, you know, one of the things that people would always come up and say is, what about the Shootout? We'd say, guys, you got to get there. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. And we watched this thing grow and grow into what it is, and couldn't be more proud of everyone. And just want to thank you again. Appreciate it very much, guys.
How about the Kansas Bad Man? Bob Morgan raced everything, drag boats, we all know him, everything. He's just like me. If you put something out there and said, let's see who can go fastest, we're going to go do that. He did that. And Bob, you know, he started so far back, and I'm 60 years old. It was even before my time, but it wasn't before Jim Lee's. So I'm going to call Jim up here because Jim raced with him through all the different tenures that drag boat racing and offshore power boat racing and so forth. And I want Jim to come up here, tell you a couple stories about Bob Morgan.
Thank you very much. I know Bob would be very proud to see everybody out here today, and I know he's really proud of the shootout. And I know one of his competitors, Dave Scott over there, I used to hear the stories how you guys tried to make a boat faster than the other, and it was a lot of fun and a lot of competition there. We were all touched by Bob. I know me personally, sold me my first skater, went out and started racing offshore, and Bob provided a lot of us a lot of travel, and we all gathered around him, a team. I mean, shoot, in 97, we started racing that 46 skater, and he took us to Deerfield and Miami and shoot the Bahamas, Key West. We all had a blast. There's a lot of team members and sponsors out there. I know he loved every one of you guys. So unfortunately, Sue got delayed today, and Sue, Robbie, and Mandy all love Bob, and shoot, what can I say? I know it's a great honor. He'd love to be here tonight. The last time I saw his face was on his tombstone there in El Dorado, and it looks really pretty. So anyway, here's to you, Bob.
Somehow passed over Jeff Dorhauer, and I'm sorry about that. 20 years he's been around the shootout working like crazy. He's been here since '89. He is the chief, fire chief, Osage Beach, my county. Jeff, sorry, come on up here, man.
I just got to say a few things. Captain Ron, stand up a second. Back when the fire departments got rid of this, and John Sullentrop can swear to this story, you still need to stand up. Don't sit back down. What the? We said we were going to keep the name Lake Rescue Shootout in case you didn't make it work. The next year we called you and said it's yours. You've done an excellent job. Thank you. You're carrying on tradition. Hello. But real quick, we talked about Bob, and you always knew Bob Morgan was on the course and giving it all he's got because he hit the level. And you would hear that and know he was pushing it. But tonight, I want to dedicate this to somebody else. A good friend of mine because of the shootout. And he can't be with us here today. Lost his life doing what he loves doing. That's Tom Newby. Tom brought this race to so many people through his pictures, and Tom touched so many of us that I dedicate this tonight to Tom Newby and his family. Tom, thank you. I met some good friends because of this race, and they flew in from New Jersey tonight.
We want to thank everybody tonight for coming out. This is the beginning, the first inaugural Shootout Hall of Fame. It's going to go forward from here. There's going to be a lot more people that need recognition. But I want to thank all the participants, obviously, all the fans, all the people that make this work. That's a lot. Most of all, I want to talk and thank Ron Dugan. Without his staff and without the amount of amazing preparation that goes into this that he does, we couldn't have this event. So, Ron, you are the man. I want to remind everybody that we're going to unfurl the statue, the tribute to Bob Morgan, to Big Thunder, to the 100 boat at Captain Ron's on Saturday at 10 a.m. I would love to see everybody there. Just crowd that whole place, get the pictures done. I think that's an awesome thing that Ron's done again, and it speaks of well. It's a place that we can all have a beer. Don't anybody run away, because we're going to have the auction, both silent auction and normal auction, as soon as I shut up, which is right now. Again, for the technology that he's brought to this sport, for the speed. Randy Sissom is here now. Give Randy a big hand, please, would you?
just want to thank all the people that put this thing together every year for us. I mean, it's been great. We've been doing this for a long time, as you can tell. I remember when we did this the first year, and the 100 miles an hour was supposed to be the big number that nobody could get to, and we did, I think, 103 and thought we had really done something, and now the guys like Dave are over 200, and it's just come a long ways in a short time. I guess it's a long time, but thank everybody for everything and for the award. Thank you.